Greetings, all. How are you today? So, uh, I have decided um, to go ahead and begin to take on students and also do video chats um, as a working shaman now. And I'm dressed like this because I want people to understand that I have to work in both mediums, in both parallels of the Western world and in the spirit world. So, um, there are appropriate times to do and dress appropriately for what you must do. I understand that. Today we're going to be talking about some of the classes that I'll be offering to people. Basically, this is by what is understood as Western psychology, and to get down to the basics to help everybody to become a spirit worker or enlightened being. We have to get through your basic Western understandings of your psychology and your mental health issues. So we will start off by um, pathways to effective reasoning. So we have to, if you were to start with me, this is where you would start. You start at groundwork, and you would start with reasoning, acknowledging your concerns, um, and coming forward and asking for help. That is the ground floor of your work with me. Um, then moving on from there, we're going to go ahead and find out your unresolved emotional stressors, your core concerns as moving forward and in your personal healing. You need to feel appreciated. You need to feel you're an equal. You need to feel the freedom to decide for yourself and to be respected by those who you work with and yourself. You have to learn what is beyond reason. Um, Rage, acute mania, um, delirium, substance-induced states, and dementia. So that would be the first part of our learning process, is to recognize your traits that you're having difficulties with your unresolved emotional stressors. The second part we'll move on to is mood disorders. Um, Depressive disorders, major depressants, persistent depressant disorders, bipolar disorders, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, um, and the feeling of the invulnerability, the euphoria, um, uh, being felt as you're an infallible person. We'll have to do that as that's part of bipolar disorder 1 and 2. We'll move on to the third part, which is generalized anxiety, OCD, and perfectionism. And we'll start off with generalized anxiety, chronic, uncontrolled, irrational anxiety, chronic overthinking. We'll get into OCD, which covers, that's going to cover uh, key triggers for your OCD, ideas associated with impulsive rituals, um, impulse-based thoughts, and then we're going to also deal with perfectionism, which is um, people who have unrealistic expectations of themselves and others. We'll call that perfectionism. And then we'll also have to deal with passive aggressive behavior, anger, passive behavior being undermining the efforts of other people. Aggressive traits of that would be shaming, provoking, bullying, threatening, avenging. So those are some of the traits we'll be discussing as far with aggressive behavior, passive aggressive. Um, we'll go on to the fifth part would be selected personal disorders, which are, basically you pick what you want and what you don't want to meet your needs. Inflexibility, you're in crisis, you're clueless, you avoidance. So that's part of selection. Antisocial behavior, intolerance, frustration, exaggerated sense of intelligence, borderline um, uh, personal behavior, which would include impaired identity, abandonment issues, intense psychic, spiritual anger, narcissistic, exaggerated self-importance, power, overcoming strong emotional, intuitive behavior. Um, then we have cognitive behavior, which is the healing part, which is the last part. We get into our cognitive structure of repairing ourselves, which is how do we refrain from twisted thoughts. I'm sorry, light is burning my eyes. Focus on problem solving. Um, External regulation, calming abilities, breathing abilities, imagery, relaxation techniques. Getting to the last part is when to disengage with a person, when to be humility and to walk away, when to deal with difficult conversations. Um, and basically, that all has to do with building your social skills in public, also. Um, and the last part would be balancing your priorities, which basically is um, balancing your priorities um, would be, let me see, acceptance of self and others that may not change, um, and also mindfulness, um, stress reduction. So we want to balance our priorities in being able to um, have control of our emotional um, order inside within our body. We want to be able to focus on reducing our stress. And when we get to that point of basically healing our inner self and becoming a calm person, then we can move on to the spiritual part where we can take off the Western garb and move into the spiritual realm that allows us to go farther than what we can see. Okay? So once again, I am to begin classes starting in a few weeks. I will be doing online messenger classes where I will be speaking with you, doing healings, helping people manage their gifts, their psychic abilities, um, whatever it be. If you're suffering from a PTSD, whether you're suffering from schizophrenia or other disorders that um, you can't afford to go to pay someone else, I can do it for you. I can help you out and do it for you a little cheaper. Um, and also the people that are ready to go out and learn shamanic teachings, that want to learn how to focus and do the training that I've done and um, be able to pull out the shamanic being within you, because I do believe truly that what I know and understand, um, I can relate to others, um, but not everybody can grasp the depth. So it takes time for everybody to find the levels they seek to be at. I really don't wish for anybody to be anything other than joyful. So whatever that level of joy is for you, just releasing those stressors of life, learning to disengage when things around you are outside of your control, learning to um, uh, be appreciated, be an equal, be free in your decisions, and be respected for who you are. That is important. And that's the values and the gifts I want you to have for yourself and for your soul. Blessings to you. I will be, I want to say it again, on Messenger. We'll be taking Messenger. I will be doing 30-minute sessions on Messenger. And once a month, I will be doing a 2-hour class at Haslai Monastery in Hacienda Heights. Blessings to you. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.